Hey everyone, Rachel Jensen here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize on the beautiful island of Ambergris Key. Today we are on question number 64 of In the Inbox, which is when we answer questions by folks like you about the real estate industry here in Belize. So let's get started and answer this question by Jen. So Jen is saying, what are the extra costs if I'm holding a property in a company like an IBC, a local Belize 250 company, etc.? So first and foremost, I want to start by saying that how you hold property in Belize is totally up to you. Do note that as foreigners, you are able to hold property. You do get title to it, but how you hold it is up to you. Do you want to put it in a trust? Do you want to put it in your personal name? Do you want to put it into a company? And everybody has different reasons for why they want to title it in their name or in whatever name they choose. And so I would recommend that you talk with your accountant or your CPA or your attorney about that if you're thinking about perhaps doing it from an estate planning perspective, or you're thinking about it from a business perspective. I can't give you the advice there. I don't know your personal situation, and I also don't want to be responsible for how you decide to set it up, just in case you decide to change it down the line. So talk to somebody who knows your specific situation, and then get the information from there. So today, though, I wanted to talk specifically about the fees if you have your property in an IBC or a company. And so right now, today, we do see that there are a lot of properties that are held in companies. Previously, there was a loophole with the lands department that if you held the property in a company and then a new buyer came in, you would do a share transfer of that company to the new buyer, and they wouldn't have to pay, they were exempt from the 8% stamp tax. That is no longer the case. So that loophole is closed. So that's no longer an option. So having it in IBC from that tax exemption really isn't a priority anymore, right? So does it make sense for you to have an IBC knowing that that tax part is not going to be here anymore? So if you have an IBC, an international IBC, or you're thinking about putting your company in an international business company such as Seychelles or Anguilla, note that there are going to be one-time fees. This is if the company is not already set up. You're buying a property, you decide that you want to title it in the name of an IBC that you're setting up. You'll have the registration of, I'm going to jump down to the third point, the company establishment setup fees, point number 3 there. That's going to vary depending on where you're opening the company. And then we're going to jump up here to the registration to do business in Belize. If you're using a foreign company to own property here, that company needs to be registered in Belize to be able to do business in Belize. There is a fee for that, about $1,200, a little bit more than that. Note that these are fees from the closing company that we work with. These are in US dollars, and it's subject to change, of course, at any point, but this is at today's price of April 24th, 2024. So if it's not registered to do business in Belize, then this is a fee that you need to pay. A lot of owners have not registered their company to do business in Belize, which is illegal, but especially if you have an asset of a Belize property, so you will need to do that. The closing company can confirm if this has been done or not. So make sure when you're going through the due diligence process during the closing company, they are checking to make sure the company is registered to do business in Belize. In addition to that, you're going to have average filing fees for the overseas business. That's about $150 plus tax, depending on how many shareholders you have. There's also going to, and we just talked about that company establishment setup fee. So these are general one-time fees. Now, an annual fee that you're going to have is the renewal for the company to do business in Belize. That's about $560 plus tax. Every year, you're going to have to get a certificate of good standing. That's about $400. This is not always something you need. It depends on your businesses, but typically it's something that you're going to be doing anyway. Annual fees in the country where the company is registered. So you're going to have to be paying the company, the registered agent that set up the company to keep that company registered for you in Seychelles, let's say. That depends entirely on the company, but our country rather, but we're seeing on average that's $1,500 to $2,000 a year. Again, depends entirely on the country. It could be higher, it could be lower, but it's better for you to estimate that. So you have the one-time fees, and then you have the annual fees. Now, if you're deciding that you want to put it in a Belize 250 company, so this is a local company, it's not international, it's not an IBC, it's a local company, then obviously you don't need to register that company to do business in Belize because it's a Belizean company. With that being said, the company establishment fees depend if you're a resident or citizen of Belize or not. I'm assuming here that you're listening as a foreigner. If you're listening as a foreigner, you can expect about $1,200 plus tax to be paying. In addition to that, for your annual fees, you're going to have to file an annual return every year, plus tax, and then a certificate of good standing. And these are estimates depending on your registered agents. You may pay more, you may pay less. So these are all estimates here. Also, if you are a US citizen, you're going to have to add another form to your taxes. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. I know it's just tax season. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. My accountant fills it out, and you're going to have to provide information about the shareholders, the assets that it holds. But every year, you're going to have to add that form to your taxes. If you're not adding it, please talk to your accountant. If you have property already in a company in Belize, doesn't matter if it's an IBC or a local Belize 250 company, you have to be reporting that with the asset. So it depends on the country that you're filing your taxes in. As an American citizen, I can reassure you that you need to fill out that form and disclose the asset and the other details on that tax form. So it's not necessarily cheap. The ongoing fees really can add up to have your property in an IBC or in a local company. However, it really depends on you and what your goal is with the property. If the property is in a, it's a 30, 40, $50,000 lot, does it make sense to have it in a Seychelles or Anguilla corporation? Maybe not, because you have these annual fees that add up, but maybe it's better for your situation if you want to have it better for estate planning, right? Where down the line you could just transfer shares versus having to retitle property and go through probate. So again, everybody is in their own situation, and how you're holding title is completely up to you. Please feel free to reach out if you would like to get a copy of this free e-copy of the real estate buying process. I'd love to email it over to you. My name is Rachel Jensen, and we look forward to hearing from you. Bye, everyone.